Okay, so we're back to do some thinking questions. I want to thank Mr. Lamb, who's one of the teachers at Burroughs, for giving me some from one of his PowerPoints for our thinking area. So we're going to do a little bit more challenging stuff, so stick around and kind of think through this thought process as well. So let's do the first thinking question. The first thinking question, I found this one really, really interesting, was there are 3 consecutive numbers that equal 36, okay? And you had to write the algebraic expression, or the algebraic equation, and then solve for those numbers. So think about this. We know that our answer is going to be 36. And we've got 3 consecutive numbers. So it means that the numbers have to be like 4, 5, 6, right? They're obviously not 4, 5, 6, but they have to be in consecutive order. So they have to come right after another. So do we know what the first number is? No. So we're going to represent that with an X. Do we know what the second number is? No, but we know that whatever that second number is, it's going to be the first number plus 1. And do we know what the third number is? No, but we do know that whatever that number is, it's going to be the first number plus 2. So we get this algebraic equation that says x plus 1 plus x plus 2 equals 36. The first number in our consecutive order plus the first number and 1 plus the first number and 2, right? So if we took this idea here of 4, 5, 6, what I'm trying to say is if we did x plus 1 plus x plus 2, and we said x was 4, well, this would be 4 plus 1, 4 plus 2, 5, 6, okay? So that's what we're trying to do here. So what do we do now? If you were the person who said combine like terms, then you are correct. So we're going to combine like terms. That means that we're going to combine all our variables and all of our numbers. So our next line is still going to be 36, but this time we're going to add up. So we've got 1, 2, 3 x's. So we're going to have 3x, and we've got plus 1 and plus 2. So it's going to be plus 3. So our next line is going to look like 3x, right? The 3 x's plus 3. And now all we're doing is isolating the variable. So we're going to have 3x on this side and 36 minus 3 on this side. So our next line will look like 3x equals 33. I know we're going through these extra steps, but listen, this is what they want to see next year. And now we're going to divide both by 3. And we're left with x equals 11. So let's plop that now into our original idea. So if it's 11 plus, we know that would be 12, and we know that the next one would be 13, should equal 36. 11 plus 12 is 23 plus 13. 23 plus 13 is 36, equals 36. Excellent job, everybody. So when you're looking at this thinking question, the consecutive is the helpful one. And talking it through like what I did up here is saying, I don't know what the first number is, so I'm going to give that a variable. I know that the second number is the first number and another 1. And I know that the third number is the first number plus another 2. Okay, so that's kind of how you would do this one. I want you to try one on your own right now. So I'm going to write this out. I'm going to make up some names. Let's pick some Miss Chan's class kids. Alyssa and who else is in Miss Chan's class? We'll say there's a boy in Miss Chan's class. No, that's going to cause too many shipping. I don't want to do that. We'll say Alyssa and we'll say Manali. okay, because I know that she's in the other class. Alyssa and Manali deliver papers, okay? They have paper route. Alyssa's weekly earnings, it's much harder to write neat in marker, are 3 times as much as Manali's. Together, they earned $41 last week, okay? So what I want to know is, I want the algebraic equation, and I want you to solve for how much each make. Okay, so think back and talk it through. Talk through your process here. Okay, go. Okay, so you're back. Let's work through this together now. Let's do this. So Alyssa and Manali deliver papers. Alyssa's weekly earnings are 3 times as much as Manali's, and together they earn $41. So easily, I know that I'm going to do A first, and I'm going to say that I know that it's going to be $41 on the other side of the equal sign. Alyssa's weekly earnings are 3 times as much as Manali's. How much does Manali make? We have no idea. So Manali is going to be our first one. So we know that Manali, we're going to represent her with an M. Should probably do a lowercase m actually. Plus, right? Because it's Manali and Alyssa's earnings that equal 41. How do I represent? So this represents Manali. How do I represent Alyssa in this equation? Well, Alyssa is 3 times as much as Manali. So 3m. Okay? And at this point, all we need to do is say, we're done. We can say that this is the algebraic equation. Or if you really want to make it more simple, you could say 4m equals 41. But we know that Manali plus Alyssa is going to be 41. So now we need to solve for how much each person makes. So we're going to combine like terms. So our next line is going to be 4m equals 41. Oh, I always make the mistake. We're going to divide this by 4 and this by 4. And we're left with m equals 1025. So when we say m equals 1025, what does that mean? Well, it means that Manali makes $10.25 a week. And now I want to find out how much Alyssa makes. So I have to figure out Alyssa's. Well, I'm going to take Alyssa's form, so 3m, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to input 1025 now. So it's going to be 3m, so 3 times 1025 equals $30.75. So Alyssa makes $30.75. 30.75 plus 10.25, 10 and 30 is 40, 75 and 25 is 1, 41. I've gotten the correct answer. We're going to do 2 more. One that is a little bit higher, and then I'm going to give you guys one to do. So this one I thought was really interesting that was sent over. So here's the scenario. In gymnastics, we'll just use the names that were on the slideshow. Holly and Julie scored 107 points together, okay? Holly scored 35 more points than half of Julia's points. So we need to do the following. We need to find A, the algebraic expression, and B, we need to figure out how many points did each person score. And C, what was the difference between the 2 points totals? So the first thing I did when I read this one was I had to reread it a couple times because it does get kind of confusing. So it's saying here that they scored a total of 107 points. Holly scored 35 more than half of Julia's points. So when I was solving this, I did this first. I wrote a bunch of different algebraic equations. The first one I wrote was H plus J equals 107, right? Because Holly's amount plus Julie's amount has to equal 107 points. And then I broke it down a little bit more. I said that it still has to equal 107. And Julie, we don't know what her points are yet. And then I broke down Holly's to be a little bit more precise because I know that Holly's is 35 plus half of Julie's. So 1/2 J. You know what? I'm going to rate that a little bit more precise. Sorry. So I'm going to write 35, right? Because it's 35 more points than half of J plus Julie's points. So when you see this, all I'm saying is half of Julie's points plus 35. This is still representing Holly. So Holly has now just become this part of my fraction, part of my equation. So now that I've got this, I'm going to now add up all my like terms. So my next line is going to be still 107 here, and it's going to be 35 plus, okay, so now you could look at this in two different ways. You could say, okay, if I have a denominator of 2 here, so I could just say this J is 2 out of 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it over here. So if I say that J equals 2 over 2, then my next line could read 3 over 2, right? Because I have my 2 over 2 plus my 1 over 2, right? But for me, that gets a little confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this is 1 and this is 0.5. So I'm going to say 1.5J. So 35 plus 1.5J. I've added the 1J with the half J to get this amount. And so now I'm just at a simple part of isolating variables. So 107 minus 35 equals 1.5J. I'm going to divide both by 1.5. Oops, I should probably find the answer first. My bad. So 1.5J, Mr. Burger, sorry. 1.5J equals, what's 107 minus 35? It's 72. And now we can divide by 1.5. And we're left with J equals 48. So we know that Julie scored 48 points. So I'm going to put Julie 48 points. Okay. But now I got to figure out how much Holly scored. And if you remember, we said that Holly equaled half of Julie's plus 35. Right? So if Julie scored 48 points, what's half of Julie's? Well, it's 24. Plus 35. So Holly scored 59 points. Now, how could I have solved this a little bit easier? I could have just said 107 minus 48, correct? No, because what's 107 minus 48? 107 minus 48. 0, 9, 9. I could have. I'm just kidding. when I solved it the first time, for some reason, it didn't work out. So now I'm glad to see that my math is working again. Okay, so we're given a little bit of a difference. So we figured out how much each one does. What's the difference between the two? So 59 and 48, the difference is 11 points. So the key thing that I want you to take away from here is writing out your equation first and then breaking down and representing larger pieces of your equation in smaller chunks, right? Holly is still here, but now she's represented as 35 plus half j because that's what her score is. Okay, the last one you're going to do, it's going to be kind of similar to this one. So Mr. Burger, I saw a coupon, found a coupon for buy one seasons pass and get one or get the second half off, plus only pay $20 for parking. Okay? No tax. I spent $149. So what I want to know is I want to know what the algebraic equation is. I want to know how much is a season's pass. Okay, so please take your time, try your best, come back to me, pause and come back to me. Okay, you are back. Oops, sorry, just had a stretch. You're back, so let's look at this. So I found a coupon to buy one season pass and get the second season pass off, half off, plus I only have to pay $20 for parking. And I spent $149. So the first thing you should have known was that $149 is going to be our total. Next thing you should have known, so I'm going to check that off. Next thing you should have known is that I have to pay $20 for parking, no matter what, right? So it's going to be, whatever my number is going to be plus 20. And then I can say to myself, okay, I've got one season's pass. I should probably put that closer. I don't know why I keep putting them so far away. One season's pass plus, well, the second one is half off. So half a pass plus $20 equals $149. So if you had this, you had your algebraic equation written down correctly. So now I need to combine like terms. If you see the same thing happened, right? I had 1 and a half. So I'm going to consider that instead of doing 3 over 2p, I'm going to do 1.5p plus 20 equals 149. And now it's all about isolating. 149 minus 20 equals 1.5p. So I'm left with 1.5p equals 129. Divide both by 1.5. And I'm left with $86. Now I want to check this. So I'm going to rewrite my entire thing over here. P plus half p plus 20 equals 149. And I'm going to insert my answer. So 86 plus 86 divided by 2 plus 20 should equal 149. So next line is going to be 86 plus, what's 86 divided by 2? 43 plus 20 equals 149. 43 and 20 is 63. 80 plus 60. 80 plus 60 is 140. 6 plus 3 is 9. 149. Nicely done. everybody if you got that. So that's today's lesson. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or message me on the Google chat. I do have an extra card that I'd like you to complete just to kind of see how you're feeling about things. And there's a couple questions that I want you to work on. Thank you guys. I'll see you soon.